Let me start today a new topic called as access control. So the main motive of this topic, access control, is talks about giving the permissions, the things which are available in a class. What are the things is available in the classes? The data members, methods, constructors, or class within the class that is called as nested class. To give some sort of permissions to the outside people or to outside the classes or to other classes, we are going to be giving this permission with the help of access. Now to control that permissions, we are going to using this access control. In a simple line, access control is nothing but preventing the accessing of the data members or methods or constructors or class, nested class to the other classes with the help of this access control. So just we are doing that. So we are just saying we are going to following the book and other sources to discuss of this topic. Let me start the access control. Just a recall of a topic called as encapsulation, which is one of the feature of Java. Encapsulation is nothing but the data and the code both are going to be integrating as a single entity. Encapsule, that is capsule. Already are aware about the capsule, right? So the data, it links the data with the code that can be manipulated. That is called as encapsulation. So encapsulation, the another attribute of this encapsulation is access control. So what is the main purpose of this access control is you can control what parts of a program. What parts of a program normally it is maybe having the program sort of like method, the class, nested class, data members, some other things will be available within the program as part of the program. Can access the members of a class. Members means all the sort of things. The data member, method name, constructor, nested classes, all will be comes under as a members of a class. To control that the accessing, we are going to using this access control. And also the main advantage of this access control is we can avoid, we can make sure prevent the misuse of the things, misuse of the resources, misuse of the parts of a particular class. So to do that one, we are going to be using, there are two types of modifiers in Java. The first one is here the modifiers we are going to be calling as the two types of modifiers. The first one is the access modifier. The second one is non-access modifier. Access modifier is also be called as access control. Non-access modifier, which is going to, we'll see that also, but as part of the syllabus, there is no non-access modifiers in our syllabus, but roughly we talk about that. So the access modifiers in Java specifies, what it specifies, it give the accessibility. Accessibility means what? Like for example, you have a property, you are a host having a 4 cents, or maybe have some uncanal types, that is 20 uncanal or 4 cents or the sum. That 4 cent, beyond that, the other people's property. What is the scope of your property? Only up to that 4 cents only. The accessibility of that only for that 4 cent. So here the accessibility means the scope, the open braces and closed braces is called as here the scope. The scope of that, the scope of this open braces and closed braces for the data members or for the methods or for the constructors or for the nested classes is going to be giving some control, giving some restriction for that data members, methods or constructors or nested classes. We are going to using this access modifiers. We are having three types of access modifiers. One is private, second one is protected, third one is public. Now, private, protected, public are the three types of access modifier. As I said you, the second category of modifiers is non-access modifier, such as static, abstract, synchronized, native, volatile, transient, or etc. All or comes under this non-access specifiers, that is non-access modifiers. So access modifiers are three types: private, public, protected. Non-access modifiers as such as static, abstract, synchronized, volatile, native, transient, right? So this type of things will be comes under non-access specifier. Now let me discuss one after the other the access modifiers as per the today topic with each private, protected, public with example. Let me start with the first one, private. So as the order indicates, private, protected, public, the permissions firstly for private is little bit of very less permissions. For next protected, little bit of more permission. For public, it is a all permissions. Now private access modifier is accessible only within the class. Only within the class means open braces to close braces within the class only you can access that private members. Then it is called as private access modifier. Now see one example we'll discuss. I am creating here a class called as A, and I am creating a data member or instance variable that is called as data. The return type of this one is private, and I am creating a method called as MSG. The return type of this one also private. Just display message called as hello Java. Now this is end of the class. So the scope of data, the scope of MHG is only up to this. The scope of this only up to this class A only. If you want to be accessed outside of the class A, then it won't be accessed because we are declaring these data members as private and we are declaring this method as private. Now I'm creating a class simple. I'm calling a main method. I'm creating an object for class A. I'm creating a object obj for class A. Now for this class I'm creating. Why I'm creating object? To access the data members, to access the methods of that particular class. Now I'm just displaying the value obj.data. And now I'm calling a method of class A obj.mh. So this is how we are going to call it. But as part of the restriction of the private access modifier, it is not accessed outside the class because it is declared as a return type is private. Return type is private. Now let's see run the program, how it will be executed. Now what exactly whether it is getting executed the program or not. So already what I'm doing here is already have just type the program and save this as this is the file name is simple, right? The file name it is a simple. Here the program. So class A followed by the data member as private and message MSG as private. I'm creating a class symbol and calling a main method and creating an object and just displaying the data member and also calling the MSG method. Now I'm just compiling the program. Now how to compile? I'm just going to the folder where I have saved it and the address bar I'm just typing as CMD, enter. It will open the command prompt. I'm compiling the program Java C space. The name of the program is simple.java. Just enter. Once I have entered the program, it raises the two errors. The first error is data has private. Data means what? A variable name in our program has private access in class A. The second error is MSG is a method has private access in A. So that's why it is raising the error. If you want to access that one, if you want to access, you can access here itself. For example, if you want to display here itself, if you want to display data, if you want to display data here, it will be done it if you keep here in a comments for a mean time, because what I have said, private access specifiers can be accessed within the class. Within the class, if you want to access method the data, you can access it, right? Here itself system.out.println, you can access within the class, you can access the data. If you want to display a message over here, but you are going to be accessing in this program, but we are going to calling the method constructor here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just displaying in a constructor. When I'm calling the constructor, it has display hello Java 40, right? I'm just save the program. Let me see whether it is executed or not. Done. It is executed. Now run the program. Hello Java 40. Because here the access specifier, here data access specifier is within the class. I'm just creating within this class only. I'm not accessing outside the class. Just what I have done is I've just created a constructor. Once I call the default constructor, it will execute the statement, this one, and I am just displaying the message, right? So like this, you can also done it. I'm just reverting the changes. See, same errors it is getting. Okay, fine. Next. Next one is protected. And please make a note of this one. Hope you are noting the points. Make a note of this one is a class can't be private or protected except for the nested classes. If you want to be making sure for a class can't be any time, you please make sure that a class can't be declared as a private or protected except if it is a nested class. Class within a class is called as what? Nested class. Inside the inside class, we can be declared as a private or protected. Outside class means class A. Inside the class A, again, if you have a class B, say for example, class A is the outer class. Now inside class A, I'm going to be creating class B. Class B. This class B can have declared as a private or protected. But this outer class can't be created as private, not be created as protected. Only had to create as public. Please remember that point. Until unless that class is a nested class, you can declare as a private or protect. If it is not a nested class, that outer class must and should be public. By default, it is a public. A class is a public only, right? So protected access specifier, the second one. Protected access modifier can be accessible within a package or outside the package. Now, what is a package here? A package is nothing but set of classes, where we are just imported in the previous examples also. Import java.util package, import java.lang package, where in that packages we have some set of classes where we are going to be accessing. So this protected access modifier can be used for only to access within the package or outside the package. But to implement this concept, protected access modifier, definitely we have to be dependable on inheritance only. Inheritance is acquiring the properties of parent class, that is acquiring the properties of parent class by child class. So parent properties are going to be acquiring by child class, then that concept is called as inheritance. So this inheritance concept can be done with the help of extend keyword. We are going to be implementing this with the help of extend keyword. So the protected access modifier can be applied on the data members. It can be applied on the data members, methods, and constructors, but not on the classes. It can't be applied on the classes. So protected access modifiers can be applied within a package and outside the package. But to implement this concept, definitely we have to implement the inheritance concept. Inheritance concept can be implemented with the help of extend keyword. Let me see one example where we are going to be, how we are going to running the protected class, protected access modifier. Now I'm creating two programs, a.java and b.java. Now we are going to creating a package here. Now how to create a package in Java is, here we have another concept in the next unit, package concept. The same thing we are going to be explaining once here itself. The package, how to create a packages with the help of package keyword, and pack is the name of the package name. So not only pack, you can give as P1, P2, A1, A2, pack 1, pack 2, anything you can. This is a user defined name. So how to create a class in Java with the help of class keyword. Now how to create a package in the Java with the help of package keyword. So package space pack, we are going to creating a package. Now I'm creating a class A, and inside the class A, I'm creating a method message. The return type of the message method is protected. Just displaying a message called as hello. Okay. So I'm creating a.java program. Inside the program, I'm going to creating a package called as pack. That inside the package, I'm going to creating a class called as A. There is a method called as in the class A MSG. The return type of the MSG method is protected. What will do the MSG is, what is the task of that? Is just display hello message. Now coming to the second program, b.java. Now in b.java program, I am creating a package called as mypack. As I said you, the packages are going to creating with the help of package keyword. So mypack, I'm going to creating. Now to access the a pack, that is a program, that is a.java program, I'm just importing the package. How we are importing normal packages? Import space java dot, where Java is a folder. In that folder, we are having all the class files available where it is available. So we have already set the paths, the executable paths in the bin folder. Now to import. Now what is the package here? Nothing but there the Java is nothing but an interpreter, that is nothing but a folder which is available. Normally in Java folder we are having, like in C program files, Java folder. Here also, what we are doing is, we are just creating a package means what? Creating a folder. That's all. Nothing to have there. What I said, a package means As said already, a package is nothing but set of classes. What will be there? Creating a package means what? Creating a folder. Why you are creating a folder? To keep all the classes. All the class files will be whatever we are keeping there. Now, when you are running a .java program, when you are compiling this one, what it will be generate? When you are running this Java program, .java program, what it will generate? It generates .class file. Agree? Now, we are going to creating a package here. That is a pack. When I compile this class A, when I compile this program, it will generate class file, right? A dot class file. That class file will be available in pack folder. That class file will be available in pack folder. Now, that class file, if you want to access, I am going to importing pack dot star. If you have a single class, directly you can use as pack dot A semicolon. Or if you want to access all the classes, you can use pack dot star. Okay, pack dot star. I am just importing that folder into my program because I want to access class A. So that's why I'm going to importing here. What I have said, to implement the protected access modifier, we have to implement through inheritance concept. So inheritance concept can be done with the help of extends keyword. So class B extends A means class A is going to be acquiring the properties of A by B, acquiring all the properties of A by B. Now B is here is a child and A is a parent. So it is class B extending A means all the things, whatever the class A, the members, the methods, the constructors, whatever in class A, it is going to be accessing directly by class B. That is the power of inheritance. Inheritance can be implemented with the keyword called as extend. So class A extends class A, class B extends A. Meaning of that one is extension of class A is B. It means that all the properties of A is acquiring by B. Now I'm calling a method, main method here, and I'm creating an object B, that is obj for class B. Now obj.msg. Now where actually msg method is available in class A, but for which class I'm creating an object? For class B. I'm not creating an object for class A, because to access any data members or any methods of a particular class, we have to create object of that class only. Then only with the help of that object, we are going to be accessing data members, we are going to accessing the methods or constructors, right? Now here I'm creating the object of class A or B? B, because MH is available in A. I need to create the object of class A, right? But I'm creating the object of for B class. Why? Because I'm not creating object for A. Why so? Means we are extending. Class B extends all the properties of class A. If you are creating object for class A, it means that you are creating for object for class B. So that's why with the help of the class B object only, we are accessing class A method, that is MSG. That is the advantage of extend. So how we are going to be importing the packages, how we are creating the package with the help of package keyword. How you are importing packages means import the name of the package, that is name of the folder dot star. Now how to access in the protected, when you are declaring the methods as protected, how you are going to be accessing is with the help of extend keyword. Now how you are going to be accessing the methods is with the help of creating the child class object, and with the help of that we are going to accessing the parent class methods or parent class members, right? Now let me see, there is a very important point here, how to compile Java programs normally with the help of Java C space filename.java. But when you are dealing with the packages, we have to compile the programs as like this: Java C space -d space dot space a dot Java. The meaning of -d indicates we are creating, we are compiling a Java program. It will generate a class file, right? Where I have to keep that class file to specify that. To specify that, we are going to using -d. -d indicates specifying the destination where to put the generated class file. You can specify any directory here instead of dot. Dot means what? It is a same directory. Wherever you have the normal program, wherever your program is there, wherever your program is there, you are going to be creating wherever your program. Say for example here, say for example here, wherever Fine. So wherever the program, your program is available, right? So wherever your program is there, Java program is available in the same directory. If you want to keep that pack folder, because you are creating a package pack, right? So in pack folder, you have to be keep your class file. So it is automatically has to be done. So to do that automatically, we are going to be using dot operator. That is in the current same directory if you want to keep it. Or else if you want to not keep in the same folder, if you want to keep in C program files, Java folder in somewhere, or in C in your roll number 1286, your roll number and followed by your class file, you can mention instead of dot here, instead of dot, you can mention the path like C colon slash your roll number, maybe 86, 1286. And so inside that, if you want to keep this one, you can mention the path instead of dot here. That is how we can be compile. So extra thing is you're adding as -d space the particular folder, that is a path where you have to keep that class file, or else if in the same directly, if you like it, you can mention as dot. Now how to run the program normally, you are how to run the programs, Java space file name, that is class file name. So here you have to mention the class file name. In the class file names where it is there, in the packages it is available. So in the packages it is available. So when you are running the b.java program, it will generate the b.class file, right? You have to compile run as Java space b. But here where the class file is available in a package called as mypack. So that's why Java space mypack.b. Instead of Java space b, you have to mention the package name .b, because in mypack the class file it is available, right? So mypack.b. Now let me compile the program so that you can get some more idea how to compile this program. So I just already have my programs, a.java. I'm opening this program, a.java. It is a protected void message. I'm just save the program here, a.java. Now I will open the b.java. I'm just opening the b.java. Okay, so class B extends A main method, creating an object for B class, calling the obj.message. Now this is the folder. This is the folder. This is the program. Observe here in this folder, there is no pack folder or my pack folder. If you have observed anything here, pack folder or my pack, no. All the files are there available, right? There is no folder called as pack or my pack. Now I am compiling. That is the first program. That is the protected class A. I'm a dot object. I'm going to compile. Just I will go to the command prompt where I have saved the folders. This is. So how to compile this type of packages programs? Java C space -d space dot, or you can mention if you want. You can mention as C colon slash the your roll number slash. You can do, and like this also you can compile it. A.java. Or else if you want to keep your class file in the same folder, same directly, you can use dot. Okay, Java C space -d space dot space a.java. Enter. It will compile. Now coming to the folder where I have compiled here. Now see, pack folder came because automatically it has created a package with a folder name called as pack. Inside the pack, let me check a.class file is there. So it is already there. Now see, once again I will compile for your understanding. See, there is no a.class or b.class file here in this one, and there is no folder called as pack or my pack, right? Now what I'm doing here is I'm just compiling. How to compile the packages folder, packages program with the help of Java C space -d space dot space a.java. Hope you are noting the things. Enter. Now there is no errors. Now coming to the folder. Now see, pack folder is there. Here outside there is no a.class. Where it has to keep the a.class file? We are instructing the destination folder is keep the class file which is generated for that a.java in pack folder. Inside the pack folder there is a.class file automatically is there. Clear? Now in a.java program there is no main method. We can't run the program. So that's why we'll go for another B. Now see whether it is extending A, and we are going to be accessing with the help of creating the object for B class and accessing the MSG method or not. Let me compile the b.java. Same, only I'm just changing the file name. Enter. If you have no errors, it will be. Now how to run the program? How to run the program? Java C space. Now coming to the folder, see again my pack has came. Previously it is not there. My pack, inside the my pack, what is there? B dot class file. So outside is not there. Inside the my pack. So to come run the program, I need to access B class file will available in my pack. So that's why my pack dot B. Enter. So the output is hello. Where I have kept this output hello in MSG. Which MSG? Class A MSG. And here I am going to access. So how you are going to accessing is with the help of protected. So see obj.msg. So I just run the B program, but it is calling the MSG of class A from the pack folder, and it is accessing. So how to accessing is with the help of extend EA. So that is the beauty of this protected. Only if you are extending the parent class to the child class and creating an object for that child class, with the help of object of the child class, access the methods or data members of that parent class. That's how we can possible with the help of protected, right? So that is about the protected. Now coming to the next one, public. So public access specifier is from anywhere. From anywhere you can access it. Accessible everywhere. From everywhere you can access it. It has a widest scope among all the modifiers. All the other modifiers it is having widest. Widest means compare with the private, compare with the protected. It is a more scope is there to access from anywhere. The same program, class A.java, the another program B.java. What I'm doing here is I'm just removing protected and replace with public. Now I'm just not extending any here. There is no concept required when you declare the method names or data members as public. There is no need to be declared. There is no need to be have any inheritance concepts here. There is no need of any extends. So I'm not extending any properties of this one. Directly I'm creating this, and I'm just normally how we are going to be creating objects for scanner from the util package scanner s1 equal to new scanner. How you are going to creating in the same fashion. I'm just imported pack here, import pack dot star, and from this package I'm calling the class A. I'm creating the obj. With the help of that object, I'm going to be just calling the method msg, like how you are going to calling s dot next line, x dot s dot next int, like this you are calling, right? Obj dot msg. Directly I'm going to be calling because I have created this method as a public and no need to have inheritance concept. And directly I'm creating the object of that A class. With the help of that object of A class, I'm going to be calling the message A msg. Now let me see, run the program. Same program. What I'm doing here is I'm just replacing with public. Let's just save the program. Here, I just remove this. And instead of B, replace with A. Save the program. Just compile it. Compile the A program. So already pack, my pack is there. It will be overrated. It will overrated on that. No errors. Go for B. Now run the program. How to run it? My pack.java. See the output? Hello. Okay. So directly it is available. So see my pack or pack. If you want, you can delete it once again. If you have any doubts regarding to that one. Now compile A, compile B. See here whether it is came or not. My pack, pack, in pack A dot class file, in my pack B dot class file. So call this run the B pack, my pack dot B, and hello. Okay, like this it is going to be accessible. Fine. So that is the difference of this one. Make a comparison between all these three access specifier. Let me have in the first column, we are talking about the comparisons. First column talks about access modifiers like private, protected, public. Now within the class, if you declare that data members or methods as private or protected or public, within the class you can access all three. If you declare as a private, or if you declare as a protected, if you declare as a public, within the class you can access it. Within the class means what? Open braces and close braces, you can access it. Within the package, if you declare as a private, you can't access it. If you declare as a protected and declare as a public only, you can access it. Outside the package by subclass. By subclass means what? Inheritance concept. With the help of inheritance concept, if you want to be accessing outside the class, outside the package through subclass. Through subclass means inheritance concept. So if you declare as a private, you can't access it. If you declare as protected and public only, you can access it. Outside the package, if you declare as a private the data members, or if you declare as a methods as protected, it will not be accessed. Only it will access as public only. It can access outside the package. Just now we have seen the examples. For this also we have seen within the package means already we have seen the first program for private, the second program for protected we have seen, the third program for the help of with the help of public we have seen this. So this is how this comparison. So if you declare as public within the class, within the package, within the outside the package by subclass only, or outside the package you can access if you declare as a public. So public has the highest priority here. If you declare as protected with the second one, except outside package, for everything you can access within the class, within the package, outside the package by subclass. If you declare as private, except within the class, for the rest of the three, that is within the package, within the outside the package by subclass, outside the package we can't access if you declare as a private. So that's the comparisons of this. So in this class we have discussed about the access control, talking about the concept of encapsulation is one of the attribute of access control. Why we use this? To prevent misuse of that. Two types of modifiers we are having: access modifiers and non-access modifiers. Access modifiers are private, protected, public. Non-access modifiers are static, abstract, synchronized, native, volatile, and transient, etc. This is the example. Within the class only we can access the private, and within the package, outside the package, through the help of inheritance concept, that is the extend keyword, we can implement protected access modifier. And public, everywhere we can access this. And this is the comparison between them. So that's about the access modifier.